Give yourself 6 months to change everything. 6 months, 180 days. That's all it takes to rewrite your story, to flip the script, to leave behind who you were and introduce the world to who you decide to become. But it only works if you mean it, if you decide right now, not tomorrow, not someday, that the next 6 months of your life are going to be lived with obsession, with intention, and with relentless pursuit of transformation. This isn't about waiting for the right time. It's about declaring this time as the right time. The difference between the person you are today and the person you could be is not talent, not luck, not background. It's decision, it's clarity, it's your willingness to say, for 6 months I will do what most won't, so I can live how most can't. You must start with a definite purpose, a goal that you can feel in your bones, something that makes your blood rush every time you think about it. Do not say you want to get better. Be precise, be ruthless. What does your life look like 6 months from now? What do your finances say? What does your body look like? What kind of mind do you have? Who are you becoming? Write it down. Burn it into your mind. You cannot hit a target you can't see. Then comes discipline, and this is where most fall. They set the goal, but when the early mornings feel cold and the nights are lonely, they retreat. But you will not, because you understand something. Discipline is freedom. Discipline means you are in control. You are no longer a puppet of emotion or laziness. You don't need to feel motivated. You need to be committed. That's the difference between the few who rise and the masses who crawl. 6 months of absolute discipline can erase 6 years of regret. But discipline alone isn't enough. You need faith in action, not hope, not vague optimism. Faith backed by action. The kind of faith that builds momentum because you keep showing up no matter what. The kind of faith that makes people look at you and say, they're possessed. They're different now, and you are. Faith means you don't just speak it. You walk it. You grind even when the results haven't shown up, because you know the results are only hidden, not missing. Now let's talk about your environment. You can't change your life if you're still breathing the air. Doubt and fear look around you. Who do you listen to? What do you watch? Who do you speak to daily? If they're not feeding your fire, they're pouring water on it. Change the room, change the energy, create an environment that breathes belief, read things that elevate your vision, listen to voices that demand greatness, starve the noise, feed the signal, and when it gets painful, and it will, don't shrink, use the pain, let it sharpen you, let it remind you why you started. Don't you dare let pain make you bitter or broken. Use it to become bulletproof. You've carried wounds long enough. Now turn them into weapons. Pain is a signal not of defeat, but of potential. It means you're stretching beyond your limits, and that's exactly where transformation happens. But remember this, every step forward requires sacrifice. You can't take the old you into the new life, that version of you. One that hit snooze, that delayed dreams, that feared judgment. They don't get to come along. Let them go. Because if you don't sacrifice now, you will suffer later. You'll suffer the regret of what could have been. And regret is the one thing you cannot fix later. But sacrifice, that you can endure, that you can master, cut the distractions, delay the pleasure, reject the approval, give up the comfort, and in return claim power, peace, and purpose. Let the next 6 months be a war on everything holding you back. Be so focused they question if you disappeared. Be so committed that failure packs its bags and leaves you alone. You're not just chasing a new result. You're building a new identity. You're becoming someone who cannot be broken, who cannot be denied. It doesn't take a lifetime. It doesn't take magic. It takes 6 months of laser, focused, belief-fueled, disciplined action. 6 months, that's it. The decision is yours, and if you give these next 6 months everything, life will never be the same again. Definite purpose turns time into a weapon. Time is either your greatest asset or your deadliest enemy. 6 months can be squandered like sand slipping through your fingers, or it can be sharpened into a blade that carves out a future no one saw coming. The choice lies in your ability to give time a job, a mission, a purpose. A person with no definite aim becomes a drifter, wandering from one distraction to another, never harnessing the full force of their potential. But once a person fixes their vision on a goal so clear and so consuming that it refuses to be ignored, Time becomes obedient, it bends, it yields, it works. The tragedy of most lives is not failure, it's aimlessness. The vast majority of people walk into every new week, every new month, and even every new year without a dominating desire that fuels their actions. They want improvement, but they don't define it. They want change, but they don't demand it. So time slips away, days blend into each other, and life becomes nothing but repetition of old habits, familiar routines, comfortable excuses. But you are not here to live that kind of life, not now. You are here to claim power over the next 6 months in a way that most people will never experience in their entire lives. And it starts by understanding this. Without purpose, you are prey to every distraction. But with a burning desire, with an outcome that sets fire to your imagination, you become immune to noise. You rise above temptation. You no longer waste hours, because every hour becomes a tool. Every morning becomes a mission. Definite purpose means you are specific. You know exactly what your 6-month outcome looks like. You don't say, I want to be successful. That's air. You say, in 6 months I will earn X. I will have saved Y. I will have lost 20 pounds. I will have launched my business. I will have read 20 books. I will have rebuilt my discipline, remastered my mindset, and replaced weakness with willpower. You write it down, you make it real, you place it in your mind's eye, and you revisit it every morning and every night. You build your life around that picture until it becomes your reality. Your purpose must become so loud in your soul that it silences every excuse. You don't need more time, you need more intensity. People waste years hoping for the perfect opportunity, and yet 6 months of focused obsession can outperform 10 years of casual effort. The world doesn't reward effort. It rewards clarity followed by execution. 6 months of clarity can change your position, your finances, your health, your entire identity. You must become so serious about your goal that nothing casual survives. The lazy conversations, the aimless scrolling, the empty entertainment, all of it must die. If your dream is to live, purpose demands sacrifice. And if you're unwilling to give something up, you're not serious. You're just playing. The difference between players and winners: purpose. Players dabble, winners dominate, because winners know exactly what they're fighting for. You don't need to convince others, you don't need approval, you don't need applause. You only need to wake up every day and remember you're on a 6-month mission, a war on the old version of you, a race against your own potential. This is not about becoming someone new, it's about becoming who you were meant to be. All along, it's about uncovering the power that was always buried inside you, waiting to be activated by purpose. Once you've declared your definite purpose, the clock starts ticking. Every hour counts. Every decision matters. There is no middle ground. You're either aligning with your purpose or you're betraying it. Every time you procrastinate, you delay your destiny. Every time you act with urgency, you bring it closer. This is not pressure, it's power. The power to choose the future you want, 6 months at a time. Forget perfection. Forget waiting. Forget the fear of not being ready. Truth is, nobody is ready. The ones who win are the ones who start. You don't need perfect conditions. You need perfect clarity. The rest will follow. You'll figure it out along the way. The path is made by walking. The plan refines itself through action. The momentum builds by motion. Purpose is the engine, but action is the ignition. So what is your purpose? Define it. Obsess over it. Talk to it. Write about it. Visualize it. Make it so real in your mind that your current life becomes unbearable in comparison. That is how you give 6 months a mission. That is how time becomes your weapon. 2. Discipline is the bridge between desire and destiny. Desire means nothing without discipline. Everybody wants a better life. Everybody wants the rewards. But only a few are willing to build the bridge between where they are and where they want to be. And that bridge, brick by brick, is built through daily, unforgiving, relentless discipline. 6 months of pure, unshakable discipline can do what motivation could never dream of. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline is the voice that speaks when the feelings have died. Desire is emotional. Discipline is practical. Desire will wake you up with excitement. Discipline will drag you out of bed when excitement is gone. Desire sets the vision. Discipline does the work, and this work it is not complicated. It is boring, it is repetitive, it is exhausting, but it is exactly what molds character into a weapon. You will not always feel like it good. That's how you know it's working. Discipline is forged in discomfort. The people who change their lives in 6 months are not the ones who wait for the right mood. They are the ones who act in spite of the mood. They are the ones who understand emotion is a tool, not a master. You either run your day or your day runs you. If you want to become someone different in 6 months, then your habits must become different starting today. Discipline begins with structure. You plan your mornings, you own your nights, you eliminate distractions, you protect your energy, you become ruthless with your schedule. You don't let the urgent push aside the important. You identify what matters, and you build your day around it. And discipline is not just doing things you like. That's comfort. That's convenience. Discipline is doing what must be done, especially when you don't want to do it. Because you remember your purpose. You remember that every act of discipline is a vote cast for the future you are creating. Every time you stay consistent, even when it's hard, you're casting a vote for power, for greatness, for transformation. Do not confuse fatigue with failure. There will be days where you're tired. Let them come, but do not let them win. You keep showing up because your 6-month goal isn't waiting for the perfect version of you. It's waiting for the relentless one, the one who doesn't break, the one who adapts, the one who refuses to let discipline die under the weight of excuse. You must rewire your brain to understand one simple truth. Discomfort is not danger, it is growth. When your body screams, when your mind complains, when every fiber of you wants to quit, that is when discipline begins. That is when the old you gets left behind. That is when the new you starts to take over. This is why 6 months can change everything, because most people live their entire lives without ever tasting true discipline. But if you commit, if you endure the early resistance, you will find a power inside you that cannot be explained. Discipline becomes your friend, your ally, your armor. It makes you unstoppable, and eventually the world catches up. The results begin to show. Your body changes, your finances improve, your mind sharpens, your circle evolves, but none of that happens if you don't show up today, and tomorrow, and the next day. You win one day at a time, and then you multiply that effort with consistency 3. Faith in action is the real miracle worker. Faith alone is powerless. It becomes potent only when you combine it with movement. Most people misunderstand faith. They think it's a passive hope, a quiet wish whispered into the dark, but real faith, the kind that changes a life in 6 months, is aggressive. It is loud in behavior, not just in words. It doesn't beg, it believes, and it doesn't wait. It works. It acts boldly, decisively, repeatedly, even when all signs say give up. You don't need the whole path. You need the next step. That's what faith gives you. It doesn't show you the mountain top. It just gives you the courage to take the next climb. Every day you act on faith. You build an invisible staircase beneath your feet. And eventually you look back and realize you've ascended higher than you thought possible, not because everything made sense, but because you trusted long enough to give your work time to prove your belief right. The mind, once dominated by faith, no longer obeys fear. When your thoughts are flooded with belief in your 6-month vision, your energy changes. Your presence commands attention, your voice carries weight. People may not know why, but they feel it, because belief has a vibration and action gives it power. You begin attracting different people, better opportunities, and unseen resources, because you are vibrating at the frequency of certainty. You don't need to convince anyone. Faith doesn't shout at others. It quietly compels results. People notice something is different. You stop explaining your goals and start living them. You stop seeking approval and start embodying purpose. Faith silences fear by proving it wrong over and over again. Fear tells you to wait. Faith tells you to build while others sleep, prepare while others relax, act while others hesitate. In these 6 months, you must train yourself to operate as if success is inevitable, not optional, inevitable. That doesn't mean you won't have setbacks. It means you won't stop. Because of them, you will fail forward, you will fall upward. You will turn obstacles into stepping stones because faith won't allow you to be stuck. Action born of belief turns defeat into data and struggle into strategy. To move with faith is to move without evidence, but with absolute conviction. It's placing trust in your ability to adapt, to learn, to persevere. It's knowing that the path might get dark, but your vision still burns. You keep your 6-month goal so close, so vivid, so emotional, that quitting becomes unnatural. That's how the impossible becomes reality. Not by waiting for signs, but by becoming the sign. If others doubt you, good. Let their disbelief become fuel. Let their silence remind you why you must shout through action. You are not here to be validated. You are here to be victorious. Faith in action doesn't need applause. It feeds off results, and results only come to those who refuse to be stopped by confusion, delay, or fear. Start speaking as if your vision is already manifesting. Start behaving like the person who already lives your dream. Start treating every interaction, every habit, every decision as if it directly connects to your destination. Because it does, faith turns every step into a seed, and 6 months from now, the harvest will be undeniable, but only if you plant daily through action. Act like it's already yours. Speak like it's already done. Live like it's already real. That is the attitude of a 6-month transformation. That is how you collapse time and defy probability. That is how you turn faith into fact 4. Environment must match ambition. Your environment will either evolve you or erode you. It is not neutral. If your surroundings don't reflect your goals, they will sabotage them. You cannot become powerful while remaining surrounded by weakness. You cannot become disciplined while walking among the undisciplined. You cannot speak life while drowning in voices that speak fear. The person who wants to change everything in 6 months must first change the atmosphere they breathe in daily. You must look at your environment the same way a warrior evaluates his battlefield. Is it helping you win or making you vulnerable? The books on your shelf, the voices in your ear, the noise you allow into your mind, these are not innocent. They are shaping your outcome. Every word you hear becomes a belief. Every belief becomes a behavior, and every behavior either builds or breaks your future. You can't afford to be casual with who you give access to your mind. Cut off the toxic. Eliminate the distractors. Silence the doubters. You owe no one your energy, but you owe your dream your full protection. Higher your ambition, the stricter your environment must become. This is not cruelty. It is clarity. You are not rejecting people. You are respecting your future. If your vision is worth everything, then everything not aligned with it must be questioned. That includes your music, your social media, your friendships, your habits. You must be ruthless in your audit. 6 months is not forever, but it is long enough to change your life if you go all in. But all in means all of you, not half, not weekend effort, not temporary motivation. All of you. Mind, body, time, relationships, energy must align like arrows pointed in one direction. Start feeding your mind like a machine. Consume only what elevates your belief and sharpens your skills. Books that challenge your thinking. Podcasts that strengthen your discipline. Conversations that build you, not break you. Surround yourself with people who make you uncomfortable in the best way. People whose presence demands that you level up. Get around hunger, get around fire, get around belief so intense that it forces you to confront your own excuses. Build a sacred space for your goals, a place where focus is king and distraction dies. Design your environment like an architect, intentionally, strategically, and with precision. Visual reminders of your 6-month outcome, journals, plans, systems, timers, calendars, goals in sight. Habits tracked. You are creating a system that makes excellence inevitable. You don't leave your future to chance, you engineer it. Your physical space must reflect mental clarity. If your desk is chaos, your thinking will mirror it. Clean it, organize it, Eliminate clutter. Keep only what supports your work. Create an environment that whispers you're in control. Because once your surroundings reflect your ambition, your behavior becomes automatic. You no longer rely on willpower, you rely on structure, and just as your physical world matters, so does your digital one. What you see on your screen each day is shaping what you believe is possible. Unfollow mediocrity. Delete temptation, block out noise. Replace every meaningless scroll with meaningful study. These 6 months are a test of how badly you want it. And if you allow your phone, your apps, your feed to lead you, you'll follow them off a cliff of wasted potential. You need to be reminded daily of who you're becoming. That means daily exposure to success. Study the giants, read their words, listen to their energy, watch how they move. Your subconscious becomes what it's surrounded by. If you feed it excellence, you will expect it. You will pursue it. You will produce it. Even your language must be guarded. Words shape thought, and thought shapes action. Eliminate passive language. Stop saying, I'll try, maybe, someday. Replace it with certainty. I will. I must. I am. This isn't about pretending. It's about programming. You are writing the script of your life in real time, and your environment is either helping you rehearse victory or training you to tolerate defeat. The people you allow close must reflect the standard you now operate at. Not everyone can go with you. Some were only meant for who you used to be. You can love them, but from a distance. This is not abandonment, it is ascension. Growth requires altitude, and not everyone wants to climb. Let them watch from below, because you are no longer the same. You have 6 months to wage war on your weakness. 6 months to build a version of yourself that looks down on your former life and says, thank you for the struggle, but I'm not returning. That transformation begins with your environment. With the oxygen you breathe, the words you hear, the people you see, the habits you execute. Your ambition demands it. Your future depends on it. 5. Obsession is the fuel that breaks all limits. 6 months is not a long time. It's either gone before you realize it, or it becomes the most intense transformation of your life. But there's a secret to collapsing time, a secret to unlocking insane progress in half a year. And it's not balance, it's not moderation, it's obsession. Obsession is what turns ordinary people into legends. It's what makes 6 months feel like 6 years of growth. Obsession is the engine that never turns off, the fire that burns through exhaustion, and the hunger that refuses to sleep until the goal is conquered. You must become obsessed with the future version of yourself, not casually interested, not occasionally inspired, fully consumed. Every thought, every action, every conversation must orbit around who you are becoming. Obsession turns distractions into poison. You don't entertain mediocrity when you're obsessed. You reject it like it's venom. You walk away from nonsense. You delete what's useless. You ghost what doesn't grow you, not because you're cold, but because you're focused. The person you are becoming in 6 months is not built through balance. Balance is for maintenance. You're not maintaining. You're transforming. That means you will be misunderstood. You will be called extreme. You will be told to take it easy. That's how you know you're on the right path, because the masses are addicted to average. They normalize delay, glorify excuses, and mock intensity. But your life is not theirs to waste. Let them laugh you're building. Every waking hour must carry intention. When you're obsessed, nothing is random. You don't eat without strategy. You don't scroll without limit. You don't speak without purpose. Every movement feeds the mission. You wake up with urgency, move with power, speak with certainty, and it's not forced, it's natural, because obsession has taken over. And once that fire is lit, it becomes impossible to live the old way. Obsession eliminates negotiation. You no longer ask, do I feel like doing this? You've already decided, you're already committed, you're too deep in to turn back. This is how the obsessed win. They stop giving themselves a way out. They burn the backup plan. They walk into the battle with no retreat. It's do or die, build or stay broken, become or stay bitter. There is no in between, and here's the truth most people avoid. Greatness costs peace. It costs sleep. It costs comfort, but you're not here for comfort. You're here for conquest. For 6 months, you must become unreasonable with your effort, uncomfortable with average, unavailable for anything that doesn't fuel the mission. You train while others rest. You read while others relax. You sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term dominance. This is not punishment. It's the price of evolution. Your mind must be saturated with your goal. It must echo in your head from morning till midnight, not in a way that drains you, but in a way that drives you. When you're obsessed, even your rest becomes productive. You sleep for recovery, not for escape. You eat to fuel, not to numb. You train not just your body, but your belief. You look at your habits like weapons, each one sharpened daily. Let others live on autopilot. You're engineering your breakthrough. Every podcast, every book, every routine, every task is curated. Nothing is left to chance. Obsession demands mastery. You don't dabble, you dive, you learn the skill, then perfect it. You study the greats, then outwork them. You build routines so strong that even your bad days outperform most people's best. Because when you're obsessed, excellence becomes your baseline. It doesn't matter how far behind you feel. Obsession closes gaps. It doesn't ask for fairness, it manufactures results. In 6 months, obsession can turn the invisible into the inevitable, but only if you're willing to go where most won't. Only if you're willing to suffer what most avoid. Only if you're willing to become the kind of person others don't recognize anymore. Not because you changed for show, but because you finally became who you were always meant to be. 6. Execute relentlessly without apology all the desire, all the belief, all the vision. None of it matters without execution. Action is the final gatekeeper. You can talk a good game, you can read every book, you can fill journals with goals, but if your days are not marked by action, then you are not changing. You are fantasizing. 6 months is not changed by thoughts alone. It is changed by doing what must be done over and over, without apology, without excuse, and without delay. Execution does not ask if you feel ready. It does not wait for your confidence to catch up. Execution is movement. And movement builds momentum. Once momentum begins, it becomes harder to stop than to start. But you must start today, right now. Execution is the difference between the dreamer and the dominator. Both want more. Only one moves without hesitation. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need a map. You need movement. Make the call, hit the gym, record the video, send the email, launch the business, write the chapter, take the risk. You can think while moving. You can adjust as you go. But if you do nothing, nothing changes. Every breakthrough in your life will be tied to an act of courage, and courage only shows up when you stop thinking and start doing. You must execute as if the clock is ticking, because it is, not just the calendar, not just the 6 months, but your life. You don't get this time back. Every day you delay, your dream decays, and every day you act, your dream develops. The world doesn't wait. It rewards the bold, the fast, the persistent. It pays those who execute with no pause, no permission, and no retreat. And execution must be done with intensity. Half effort creates half results. If you're going to show up fully. Don't touch the gym, attack it. Don't visit the book, devour it. Don't try the business, build it like your life depends on it. Don't repeat old habits. Replace them with rituals that demand the best of you. You don't coast your way into greatness. You charge into it. You will have bad days. You will have slow weeks. But you don't stop. You don't give yourself the luxury of quitting. You keep moving, even if it's messy, even if it's small. Forward is forward, and consistency, not perfection, is what compounds. A small win every day for 6 months will take you farther than a massive leap once a month. Success is not about occasional explosion, it's about daily execution. There will be days where resistance screams at you. Procrastination will whisper. Doubt will tighten its grip. But this is the exact moment where execution becomes your weapon. Not motivation, not inspiration. Action, do it anyway, especially when you don't feel like it. Discipline is built when you keep promises to yourself in the silence, when no one's watching, when quitting is easy, when comfort is calling. Execution also demands simplicity. Don't overcomplicate. Most people fail not because the path is hard, but because they try to do too much too soon with no system, master the few habits that matter most, Build your day around your top 3 priorities. Become dangerous at the fundamentals. Simplicity executed daily will outperform complex plans that never get finished. Measure your actions, track your progress, execution. Without accountability becomes chaos. You must know your numbers, your effort, your consistency. You must look at your week and know whether it built you or broke you. If you're not assessing, you're guessing. You can't manage what you don't measure, and 6 months of measured execution will give you a mirror that doesn't lie. And finally, you must execute without apology. Stop shrinking to make others comfortable. Stop downplaying your fire so people don't feel insecure. This is your life, your dream, your standard. Let them talk. Let them judge. Let them mock. While they speak, you build. While they relax, you execute. While they coast, you climb. The results will speak loud enough for everyone. In 6 months. You can rebuild your entire existence if you commit fully, mind, body, and soul. Stop waiting for the perfect moment and start becoming the version of yourself that no longer tolerates delay, distraction, or doubt. Let obsession fuel you, let faith guide you, and let relentless action define you. Cut the noise, fix your environment, and show up daily like your life depends on it. Because it does. This isn't about small change, it's about complete transformation. You don't need more time, you need more intensity. Give yourself 6 months, and you'll never recognize who you used to be.